Hello, my dear little listeners. Today I'll tell you a story from faraway Europe about a boy who was kind, a magical goose made of gold, and how kindness can bring laughter and joy to the whole world. Are you ready? Let's begin. Long ago, in a quiet little village, there lived three brothers. The two older ones were proud and selfish. But the youngest, whom everyone called Simple Hands, was gentle and kind. One day, each brother went into the forest to cut wood. The two older brothers ignored a poor old man who begged for food and drink. But when Hans came, he smiled and offered the old man his bread and water. The old man's eyes sparkled. "Because of your kindness," he said, "I will give you a gift you will never forget." Hans followed the old man's advice and chopped a mighty oak tree. To his surprise, the tree cracked open, and out stepped a glowing golden goose. Its feathers shone like the sun. He gently lifted the goose in his arms. "Don't worry," he whispered, "I'll take care of you." The goose gave a happy honk, and together they set off toward the village. Hans stopped at an inn for the night. The innkeeper's wife, greedy for gold, tiptoed close to pluck a feather. But the moment she touched the goose, her hand stuck tight. She called for her daughter, "Stick!" Then the maid, "Stick!" One by one, everyone who tried to take a feather found themselves stuck fast. Hans, not noticing, picked up the goose and set off again. Behind him trailed a long, funny line of people, tugging and stumbling like a silly parade. Hans walked cheerfully down the road. Behind him, the innkeeper's wife, her daughter, the maid, a baker, a tailor, and even a milkmaid stumbled along, unable to let go. The villagers gasped and pointed. Children laughed until their bellies ached. Chickens flapped, dogs barked, and even a donkey brayed in confusion. Everywhere Hans went, the silly parade grew longer and funnier. At last, Hans and his parade reached the king's castle. Now this king had a daughter who had never once smiled or laughed. Many had tried with songs and tricks, but nothing worked. The princess sat sadly on her balcony until she saw Hans walking proudly with his golden goose and the ridiculous train of people stumbling after him. Her eyes widened, her lips trembled, and then she burst into the loudest, happiest laugh anyone had ever heard. The king, astonished to hear his daughter laugh, called Hans into the throne room. "You have done what no one else could," the king said. "Tell me, young man, what reward do you wish?" Hans looked at the princess, who was still smiling warmly at him. His heart beat fast. "I only wish to be by her side," he said softly. Just then, the old man appeared once more. His eyes twinkled kindly. "You see," he told the king, "this boy shared what little he had, and his heart is pure. He deserves happiness." And so, Hans married the princess in a joyful celebration. The villagers cheered, the goose flapped proudly, and even the once greedy innkeeper laughed at the memory of being stuck. From that day on, Hans and the princess ruled with kindness. The golden goose stayed by their side, a shining reminder that generosity brings joy to the world. And so, my dear little friends, remember this. True treasure does not come from greed or trickery. It comes from a kind heart and the joy of making others smile. Just like Hans, you too can bring laughter and light with your kindness.